that the donors have claimed. For 2015, the spend was $2.34 million. 2016, $1.15 million. 2017, $775,000. 2018, $22.02 million. 2019 is $655,000. And then 2020 is I think $5,639,513. One of the things that we have done, I think those numbers are, the last set of numbers are millions, not thousand. I'm sorry about that. So one of the things we have done is to go through the data. I'm sure we've also circulated this to run the reports and analyze the reports with a view to have a better understanding of what has been claimed to have been put to projects and programs, and the areas to which this funding has gone. The summary of the ODA 2015 to 2016 spend is just like what I had just read. And then in terms of the trend, it's what we have in the next slide, in the next report. We have tried to break this down to see from which funding agencies. They don't have this share. From which funding agencies, donor agencies that these have come, and look through the number of years to know what they have claimed to have spent. And then the other slide just lists the 10 top donors, and then the 10 top spend. When I looked at this, I was even shocked. I thought that most of our spend was really going on most of the spend from intervention from donors was in the area of humanitarian. But I can see that from the top 10 is water and sanitation takes the largest chunk of the projects that the donors have committed to, followed by health. Like you see, unspecified. The unspecified I explained earlier. Maybe there are missing information in the data, so we can't say specifically which sectors that had gone to. And then education, poverty alleviation, agriculture, government and governance, then humanitarian affairs. Recently this year, Mr. President set up a National Humanitarian Coordination Committee, of which the ministry is also represented, co-chaired by the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and also the National Security Advisor. And at that meeting, we also took a second look at the registration process and did agree that rather than we write directly to the Department of State Security and EFCC, we should channel those requests through the National Security Advisor, because they also have a wider reach beyond those two agencies. And we have since put that in place. So it is only after we get the recommendation from the intelligence and security agencies that we register, that we proceed to do so. I hope that I've been able to provide some bit of clarity to the issues around donor funding. Like I said, there are two types of donor funding. There is the budget support and there is project support. If you qualify for budget support, you get the money, it comes into your budget, and then you appropriate it and use it as you so wish. But they only provide those type of support to countries that are classified as very poor. And Nigeria is not classified as a very poor country. Therefore, we only get project support. So which means the donors will handle their procurement. The only thing they need to do is meet with the MDAs, the states and local governments to determine those areas of intervention. I'm here with the technical team who have a lot more better understanding. So as your questions come, I would try to provide answers, and those for which I do not have the details or better understanding, the technical team, with your permission, would come in to speak to it. Thank you very much for having me. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But my question in this is just for clarification, so that we can lay the foundations for members to understand. The Department Assistant Database, who actually controls that? Who is in control of the database? Yeah, the data.
That is within the ministry, and that's the analyst that goes through it and brings the reports and analyzes them.
Okay. All right, thank you.
However, they are uploaded by the donors, not others.
Honorable Leader.
It has been controlled by the military. It has been controlled by the military, the data.
It is domiciled in the ministry. It is domiciled in the ministry, so that we have access to it to do our reporting. But because we are not the ones intervening in the project, because I don't know what is happening in one local government area where they are. It's the donor that will upload it to say, we have provided either a borehole, a hospital, this, and this is what it costs.
And for us, in the National Assembly and other Nigerians, because I know a lot of questions that we receive in this regard, that they hate so much about donor agencies' activities in the country, but they can't really see, the impacts. The projects are not visible. So for me, I don't know why this kind of huge project should be shielded. It's something Nigerians are supposed to know, so that we can tap from it. Our constituents can benefit from it. I would like to know the criteria that you use, even though you mentioned that this thing goes to local government, they go to states, but these projects are under your supervision as a ministry. So I would like to know the criteria, when this thing gets there, how these projects are being deployed to those places. We can't just allow them to go to those places, and the way they utilize them, then we are not aware of it.
Of funds. I don't receive funds, and I have said so. The ministry doesn't get funds. Nigeria does not qualify to receive funds because Nigeria is not classified as a very poor country. Okay, therefore, they do not give us funds. What they do is provide projects. And I'm not the one who determines the project that they provide. Different NGOs have different costs for which they want to help humanity. So they determine that. But in doing so for Nigeria, they have to work with either states, local governments, or MDAs. So if they were to come to your state, they will be meeting with the governor, and the governor will be the one determining which area he wants intervention. Ours is just to capture through the data, based on the information that they have uploaded, to say this is the area that NGO A, B, or C has claimed to have intervened in the country. Yes, once in a while we do visitation, but I can tell you that for me as a minister, I've had three main focus since I came into the ministry. One for me has been the issue of planning, and I'm sure you are aware we are currently working on the successor plan to ARGP and the Nigerian Vision 2020. The second is the area of budget to ensure that we submit our proposals early enough to give the National Assembly enough time to handle it. And the third for me is how to institutionalize the issue of national M&A. On M&A, we are currently working on a web app. Yeah, we've been keeping it under the radar for a while. This web app is to allow Nigerians to do monitoring for us. Because they see the project, they can tell us whether the quality of the project is good or not. In the ministry, we house what is called Grid 3, which is geospatial technology. So going forward, once we complete that application and link it up with the Grid 3, what we'll be doing is that as the budgets are approved by the National Assembly and assented to by Mr. President, we will give it to the Grid 3 team that will map these projects across the country and have it layered. And then that web app will be out there to Nigerians to download on their phones, because it's going to have geospatial technology, so it can tell you the exact location where a project is. They can take a picture, and it will be georeferenced. It will show the latitude and longitude. So if any MDA or whoever claims to have constructed a road and the road is not in existence, Nigerians will be the ones to tell us. Have different areas of intervention. They decide our needs. No, we decide our needs. We have an ODA policy for donor intervention, and they are based on national priorities. And that is why I said that those NGOs in the area of their interest, where they want to intervene, when I say area of interest, that is like in the sector. If it's education, they have to meet with the Minister of Education. It is based on education's needs that they will intervene. If it's sanitation and water resource, it's the ministry that determines. Not that the NGO comes and says, this is what I must do. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that there are NGOs that are set up for humanitarian services. Some just believe in women and children affairs. So they will have to deal with the MDAs that are responsible for those to determine their areas of needs.
But I only noticed that most of your emphasis are on international donor organizations. I know we have local donor organizations like the Tony Olumelu Foundation, the Dangote Foundation, whom have been doing a lot in collaboration sometimes with international donor organizations, that is private international, like the Bill and Melinda Gates. They have been doing a lot, particularly in my state. I know a lot has been going on in Kaduna State. They've been doing so much. What have you done as a ministry to see that you monitor the activities of this international organization vis-a-vis using our own local donors?
When you register with the CAC, you can register as an NGO, but that doesn't automatically make you a donor partner. If you want to participate as a donor, that is when you now come to the ministry to register. So it is not for the ministry to monitor all NGOs. That is not our mandate. Just like CSO will register companies, that is how they register NGOs.
What you have said, I really got it. But Nigerians will want to know, especially the youth out there, some of the support that we're getting from our donors. Is it a loan or gift?
Your country, and I say I want to help in this area. This is my area of service to humanity. And so I engage you to say, yes, this is my area of service. What is your specific needs, or in which area do you want this to be done? And like I said, it's the MDAs or the states or local government that they have chosen that will determine that need and the project. It's not the Ministry of Finance, Budget, and National Planning. So we are not involved in distribution of projects to say for balancing. The MDAs are responsible to handle that, those areas of intervention. So the intervening donors are the ones who will upload. Yes, they may have put that they provided this, but they put a value to it. You know, that value shows on my dad, and that's what I record. So I think the important thing is, are they actually intervening where they say they are intervening? And that's where the issue of the monitoring and evaluation comes in. And like I said, over the years, we've been voting funds across different MDAs for M&Es. And there are projects that have been said to have been completed, whereas they have not even started. So I say, okay, since I'm chair of OGP, and OGP focuses more on transparency and accountability, let me use technology. Understand, the world is growing, and now we are talking about Internet of Things. You can tell where something is on the face of the earth. So we use that technology, which is more reliable than people, and save money, save lives, and then deliver to our people.